Alright, hey guys, what's up? We've got a lot to talk about today, as you can see by all my little pins. I'll go over what all of the colors mean and everything, and you know the deal. This whole fiasco started with a Ukrainian push on Snyorivka. They had been sort of fooling the Russians into thinking they were going to do an offensive in the east for a bit, so that's what they were expecting it, and then they flipped it around and attacked Snyorivka. They managed to get into the northern outskirts of the city yesterday, but it's become fully liberated today. And now we don't even know the extent of the push in this region. I mean, let's just go with that for now. But when it wasn't clear, Russia had been blowing some bridges behind it, which further indicated that they had abandoned the city. I made like 50 posts about it as it was happening this morning. I was in a math test, and I was rushing through it to try to figure out what was going on in Ukraine. Now, before Russia announced that they were withdrawing from the whole front, it was odd because one of the bridges all the way back that handles, that's not in the right spot, that handles Cross Inyalet's supply got blown, and it didn't really make any sense. Then some others by Solidatske and Mirolyubivka, Jesus. They had also blown bridges in these two areas. Leading up to that as well, their main checkpoint at Chorno, whatever, had been abandoned, which further indicated that they were leaving. Now to get into the juicy stuff. Russian Minister of Defense Shoigu, I don't know if that's his name, I didn't check to look, announced that Russia would be, those aren't arrows, God, I'm making so many mistakes. Announced that Russia would be evacuating from the west bank, the Dnipro, or east bank. I'm not in the upper portion if you're on the map. Alright, now we can get into some of the more interesting stuff. Ukrainians liberated the city of Pravdine, which is close to Kherson city. This city went back and forth in between being a gray zone and being Russian occupied for a really long time, so it's finally nice to see this one being liberated. All of the green things is where Russia has reportedly abandoned. The ones with dots in the middle are the ones that aren't confirmed. I got them from a source that is pretty pro-Ukraine to the point where they occasionally play up success too much, but the ones without the black dot are from more trustworthy sources. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the ones with the dots are true as well. They also liberated that's not what that says. Borozenske. They were already preparing to evacuate from this area, so I think this is going to be one of the first ones to fall. Russia had been setting up fortifications in Kherson cities, so I think it's really weird that they are evacuating. It's not going to happen immediately. Stuff like this does take time, but this is definitely a political victory for Ukraine, and symbolic as well. It'll free up a lot of their troops to go to more important fronts like the Luhansk front, or possibly maybe even around Zaporizhia. I know the war can get slow sometimes, and there's not as many updates, but stuff like this will always happen, it'll always come. You can check out where the advances will probably go in my last video, where I talk about if Ukraine did take over Snyorivka, and they did. I think this whole thing is just ridiculous, and we're going to see the front move a lot over the next week. Not everything's going to happen tomorrow. There will be a lot of stuff that happens tomorrow, and the whole details of the retreat will become more evident in the coming days. Overall, this is a massive victory, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to change my name. I can't be FreeKherson anymore. I mean, well, I guess I can use free as like an adjective instead of a verb. So yeah, there we go. It still works. Yeah, overall, this is massive. If you want to see more about how Ukraine took over Snyorivka, check out Reporting from Ukraine's video. Big thank you to my channel members, Gene Helfrich, Stieg Grun, Butleresque, David Appel, Delo Mathatas, Evan Shin, and a special thanks to my third tier, Astley C137. Also, shout out to JG Bashlow for finding my Patreon after I haven't promoted it since September.